Recently, we've been going back and taking a look at previous Android handhelds that have paved the way for the new generation of handheld that we're now seeing in 2021 and what we'll continue to see going forward. Now, one of the most iconic Android handhelds from 2013 that really changed the Android gaming space was the Nvidia Shield Portable, and that is the device that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over the specs, talk a little bit about the design and the build quality of the console. So without further ado, let's dive right into the specs. The Nvidia Shield came with a Tegra 4 processor, which was a Cortex A15 processor clocked at 1.9 gigahertz. This was a quad-core processor. They were like custom ROMs, and people did like jailbreak or rooting of the device to overclock the CPU to about 2 gigahertz. The Nvidia Shield also came with 16 gigabytes of internal storage alongside 2 gigabytes of RAM. It had Wi-Fi 5 back then, so it had AC Wi-Fi, and what that was good for was for like game streaming, and this was a big feature that Nvidia pushed on their Shield Portable. If you had a Nvidia graphics card, you could basically stream your PC games over to your Shield Portable, and this is where we started to see game streaming starting to take off. And Nvidia had their beta Shield cloud gaming concept coming up, which is now GeForce Now. So that is where all of this basically started. Now, as it goes for like the design of the device, it sports a clamshell device similar to what you'd find on the Nintendo DS. However, this was a bit different. It's like you had a 5-inch screen slapped on top of a Xbox 360 controller. If you look at the design of the Shield controller, it shares a lot of similarities with the Xbox 360 controller. If you look at the triggers, the analog sticks, only thing the positioning of the analog sticks and the D-pad isn't exact, but they did get some inspiration from the Xbox 360 controller, which is very good because at the time the Xbox 360 controller was the best controller in gaming. So I wouldn't knock Nvidia for copying the Xbox 360 controller design. The device also had a headphone jack at the back. It had a exhaust vent because it had a fan, and this was one of the first, if not the first, Android gaming system that actually incorporated a fan to keep the CPU cool. So this is why you could get such great performance out of this Tegra 4 chipset. And back in 2013, when this device launched, it was the most powerful mobile chipset that you could get your hands on. So games were being optimized for this chipset. We even saw some PC ports come over to the device because of Nvidia. So they got games like Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2 Portal, and a few others ported over onto the Nvidia Shield Portable. And with those games, it really made sense. Like, a lot of people saw that, hey, games are actually being ported or developed for this system, and that made the Nvidia Shield device to get for Android gaming. Emulation was also a big factor. You could play everything up until like PSP somewhat good. Back then, you could have gotten like really good PSP performance out of this device. Games like God of War, you could run it, but you'd have to be running it at a 1x resolution. You wouldn't be able to upscale it or anything like that. Sometimes you need to turn on a frame skip of 1, but the point is that those games are still playable on this Nvidia Shield Portable. You could even do like some Nintendo DS gameplay. I'm not sure if I saw any like GameCube. I doubt it. GameCube wasn't running on this back then, but Dreamcast was performing really good on this Nvidia Shield Portable. And it was a very good device. Ergonomically, it gripped like fine, like it fits in your hand comfortably. The only thing about this device is that it wasn't pocketable, and it was a bit expensive. So for what it was, I think it was maybe around $250 for this handheld when it came out. But it was pretty expensive, and it was also hard to get your hands on one of these back then. And the Shield Portable was a device that I was interested in, but because of that price, I thought it was a bit too much. However, like for now, I would love to have one for like nostalgia purposes, just to have it like as a collector's item, because it's nice to see where Android handheld gaming is coming from to where it's at right now. And this is what the series is about, that I'm going through, talking about all these different handhelds to give you guys a brief history of what these devices were capable of back in the day. Now, build quality of this was pretty good. It was very sturdy handheld. You could drop it and it would be fine. It had a clamshell to protect the screen. It was a 5-inch 720p screen, which made sense back in 2013 because 1080p gaming on a Android handheld wasn't really a big thing back then. A lot of games were just putting out like 720p resolution. Yeah, you could upscale them to 1080p, but you wouldn't really see that much visual difference. So 720p made sense on these 5-inch screen. The screen got pretty bright. The speakers on this were some of the best, even better than what you get on some of the top end Android smartphones. So yeah, that pretty much is going to wrap it up for the video. If you have any questions, or if there's anything that I didn't go over, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. I'll check those out. Give the video a like if you like it. Subscribe to my channel for more tech videos. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Just before I go though, let me just point this out. So you had 3 ways to game. You had Android gaming, of course, emulation, and game streaming. And this really paved the way for emulation and game streaming on Android. So yeah, I guess you can say the Nvidia Shield is like the grandfather of like emulation on Android, because it's what really pushed emulation forward on Android, and also game streaming. But again, this is gonna do it for the video, guys. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.